A new troop, the Super Yeti, has been leaked in-game by Clash of Clans. So let's tell you everything we know about it. As I'm recording this, the day of the update, there is a bug in the game whereby if you go to your quick train army and you edit this, you would see by scrolling along to the Super Troop section, a brand new troop, the Super Yeti. Straight away, you can see that the maximum will be level 7. That is the new maximum of the Yeti, and its housing space is 35. Even more, you could use this troop whilst this bug was active in the game. So let's dive deeper and tell you about it. Its ability, Shock and Awe. Electromites cause a shocking chain reaction when Super Yeti is damaged. So exactly the same as Yeti mites from a regular Yeti, but you can notice that the Electromites, when they jump to a building, they then have a chain effect much like the Electro Dragon. It can spawn 15 of these units at maximum level, and we can see 7,000 hit points, 522 damage. Obviously, there is a little description for the Super Yeti itself, but we can also check out the Electromites. These have a small amount of hit points, don't provide a huge amount of damage, but you can notice favorite target, buildings times 4 damage. This means its damage is actually 360. But I guess the reason it has this extra damage to buildings is if you were to use it as a defending clan castle troop. It's then not going to be super annoying on defense. We have a little description of these, but the interesting part is the first way that you could use this troop whilst the bug was active was trying it out within the Super Troop menu. Now, you could also try and put this into a friendly challenge army. It wasn't quite working. There was one other way to test it, which I'm going to show you in a moment, but let's first showcase it within the Super Troop playground. We first deploy one of them over by the gold mine. You can see that as it takes enough damage, that's when it will release one of these Electromites. And the distance that it is required to chain appears to be exactly the same as an Electro Dragon. So it can chain a building that has a 1-tile gap. Notice how it's hitting the cannon and then the mortar there as well. But once there is a 2-tile gap, it obviously cannot chain. Let's just spam a bunch of them in at the top by these storages, and you can notice that they attack very similar to a regular Yeti, so they provide that little bit of damage, but really, it's the Electromites with their chain effect. That's what's really providing the most damage. And what is interesting is, if you are able to clone these up, we'll test it out in a Super Yeti blimp in a second, but if you're able to clone these up, they just continually clone and provide huge value. So let's take a look. After they've taken down these non-defensive buildings, they don't spawn the Electromites whilst they're not taking damage. And then the Electromites obviously go to the closest building. So here, yeah, one of them will go to the Archer Tower. Let's clone that up. Okay, we actually cloned up one of the Super Yetis, but that's not the end of the world. It obviously gives us extra Electromites. But what we're going to try and do here is clone up the Electromites. Yeah, look at this. Now if we rage here, the Electromites are what provide the damage, right? Just look at them. Oh my goodness me. They continue to clone in this area, and then they will just chain through whatever they hit. So the Super Yetis, they're all the way over to the right side of the base, and yet they were just blasting through the defenses at the bottom there. And I feel like that is something that maybe when it comes to the Super Yeti blimps, we'll be able to rage ahead of the Super Yetis so that we're actually raging up the Electromites, not the Super Yetis themselves. As you've seen, the Super Yetis are quite tanky, so they will be able to just chip away at buildings themselves, but they do have that limitation on the amount of Electromites they have. So should you have healers on the Super Yetis, presumably they will still be alive, but they will have spawned all of their Electromites, exactly the same as a regular Yeti. The other way you could playtest the Super Yeti whilst this bug was active, which I'm going to do now, was by requesting it in your clan castle. And this is likely to be one of the better use cases anyway, right? When you went to request a troop, you couldn't request the Super Yeti. However, if you left the request blank, when your clanmate went to donate, if they went to the quick donate menu, they could then see the Super Yeti. Let's actually just leave the Super Yeti in there, and then as we're cloning things up, it is literally just that. But yeah, there we go. Now you can see I have the Super Yeti in my clan castle. Let's edit my friendly army here so that we can take a clone spell. And I actually think, let's take some invisibility spells, but I think the rage spells are actually going to be better for raging up the electromites. So let's just test this out in a couple of friendly challenges so we can see how effective the Super Yeti blimp will be. Should we just try and send the blimp right into the town hall? Freeze that. Oh, okay, we didn't make it. Clone it up. Rage. Okay, the Yeti mites did actually get... Oh my goodness, they got across there. They've cleared that bottom compartment. I've then raged them next to the town hall to hope that we can get the town hall down. Come on. Oh, they've even took the monolith out. They nearly got the town hall as well. I think we could get that. Let's give it another shot. I wonder if we could dump the Yeti in one compartment. So if we go rage, invis, but then clone here, and as the Yeti mites jump across to this other compartment... Oh, it has to take damage before the Yeti mites are spawned. Why are the Yeti mites not spawning? When it goes down, it doesn't get the Yeti mites? Is that what it is? Doesn't say here, does it? I don't know if that's a bug in the game. Why would the electromites not be spawned here? Let's see if we can drop it in that gap, right? I think that's probably the best spot. I don't think we're going to get it in there. Nope, not a chance. Let's see if we can clone it forward, though. Oh, so we did clone the electromites there, look. You can clone the electromites. Look at them go. I can rage there. Oh, my goodness me. Wait, what? 3 clone spells. Look at the base. It's nearly gone. What? That is unbelievable. Send the dragons down this side. Whoops, I accidentally pressed the minion prince ability down to the bottom. But, like, look at how many dragons we have left alive anyway. So if you can clone the electromites, it's going to be way better. But that's really unpredictable. And that's even if this bug of the electromites not spawning when the Super Yeti goes down is even a thing. Let's try and dump right on top of that rage tower. Rage. 1, 2, 3. Whoops. Oh my goodness. Oh, the scatter shot on the right went down. What is even going on right now? Like, 40% of the base. 40%! Just from the... What? Okay, we have a full dragon army for 20% of the base. I know you're seeing extreme examples, but the Super Yeti, yeah, it's pretty super. It is important to note that this bug obviously meant the troop was accidentally released, and that's probably unfinished, right? Whilst it looks good, numbers aren't finalized until the end anyway, so likely it's not going to be its finalized version. So I do want to make sure that you are clear on that. That's just basically what happens as they go through their rounds of testing. The other question people are probably asking is, so when is the Super Yeti getting released? Well, we don't know that for sure, but I would assume it's not in the too distant future because, I mean, the files are right there in the game, right? It wouldn't make sense for them to add that and then it not to be released. Perhaps this is a little bit like when we first got the Super Archer. It was just all of a sudden released one day. No update, we woke up and the Super Archer was in the game. And I have said in the past that that was a kind of nice surprise. Maybe that's what they were aiming for with the Super Yeti. They let it slip. These things happen. I am glad that they're trying to make bigger, better updates and have the odd slip here and there, but bugs are going to happen. I'm excited about the Super Yeti, but be sure to let me know what you think about its current form based on the footage we have, and I'll be sure to keep you up to date as we hear more. But in the meantime, YouTube has a recommended video of mine for you right here. Enjoy the rest of your day.